text reads, closing up with his disciples, he said, my meat is to do the will of him that sent me and to finish his work. John talks about his divinity as he walks him through in John chapter 5, and he's at the pool of Bethesda. The fellow's been there for a long time, and if you've been there for a long time, can I help you with your cousin? Because you know your cousin's been doing this for a good while, and it don't seem like they're going to get enough good common sense to get out. But can I tell you, there can be an appointed time, appointed day, and an appointed moment that Jesus will step in right there. And the man gives him an excuse. He said, I've been waiting for somebody to put me in the pool. And Jesus stops everything and says, but do you want to be made whole? That's all you got to come to church with. That's the desire to be made whole. That's all you got to get in the presence of God with. It's just a desire to be made whole. And if you want to be made whole, he'll tell you like he told him that, take up your bed and walk. You've been limping all this time. You've been lazy all this time. You've been laying down all this time. You've been laying all this time. Folk had to bring you this and bring you that. But today, since I showed up, I'm going to tell you, get yourself up and take yourself wherever you got to go. Why? Because there is greatness in you. After chapter 8, and he has this issue. In John chapter 8, we see his divinity like none other, because you know there's always this situation with church people. Look at your neighbor and say, I know you're a Christian. There's always this issue with church people, because church people always want to do something that is legalistic. And so these church folk called this sister and the brother. Yes, they call the sister and the brother. They called the sister and the brother. They let the brother go. They brought the sister to Jesus and said, the law says that right here, because we caught her in the act, that we ought to stone her. We just got an inkling to ask you, since you all that in a bag of chips, what do you think we ought to do? I tell you, Reverend Williams, I'm going to ask God. When I get to heaven, bro, I got to ask God. When Jesus didn't even look up, he just sat there on the rock. And that, I got to ask him, Sister McCoy, because he just sat on the rock. And the text says he started writing in the sand. I gotta ask him, Shelley, what was you writing? I got to ask him, because when he started writing in the dirt, you could hear rocks falling and rocks falling and rocks falling and rocks falling and rocks falling. Precious, I ain't never had an answer for somebody that if I just wrote in the sand, never look up, and then rocks would just start falling, and then